Hello everyone, my name is Ned Finn. Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the stream, and welcome back to The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. And hello, the meat in chat, good to see you here. For long-time viewers will know that we're taking just a little itsy-bitsy break from The Sims 4, taking a week-long hiatus. Just to sort of, you know, get our heads straightened out a little bit, but I think we're just gonna warm ourselves up with a little hello, Born Loser, good to see you in chat, sir. I think we're just gonna start off with a little blue baby run to warm ourselves up and almost certainly die in, because that's what I do on blue baby runs, and kind of see where things take us from there. Hope everyone is having a good day so far. I've had a relatively productive day, not gotten quite as much done as I would like, but you know, that's procrastination for you. But the important thing is that I'm here on stream. I will be streaming from 3:30 to 5:30, as I do every Tuesday and Thursday, and you know, we have fun. Magic Fingers is a really uninspiring item, to the point that I'm not going to bother giving up the poop for it, and I'm definitely not going to damage myself. Hello, Anonymous, good to see you in chat. But yeah, I will say that the stream has somewhat like altered my historical sort of mode of interaction with The Sims, because historically I've gone on like these like month-and-a-half long binges where I'm the only thing that I play is The Sims. This is what I did with The Sims 3 more so than 4, although 4 is also, you know, has had this effect on me. Lust is just kind of done. The meat, I am trying to see what that profile pic is. Let me see if I can. Yeah, because I'm checking. I'm looking at this on my phone. It looks a little bit like a fish, but I can't quite make it out. I am honestly unsure. But, yeah, so traditionally I would go for these long periods of time where I would not touch The Sims, and then I would go on these really intense binges. Where it was basically the only thing that I would where I would play, and the between just how generally busy I have been lately, the streams are really just about the only gaming that I've been doing lately, and so my experience of The Sims is a little bit more spread out. So I think it's good to take the occasional, more extended break, you know, just to give my. See, bucket of lard would normally be like a decent item to go for, but like, I don't know, man. You know, I guess I'll go back and get it. More soul hearts are better than fewer soul hearts, I suppose, even as Blue Baby, uninspiring as that is. I'm doing a little bit better than I would have expected, frankly. Seeing messages from folks. So you heard something from Vinesauce Joel? Well, the more you know. Born Loser has discovered they do indeed have creative bone and is now flowing all the... Yep. The Sims has the capacity to awaken deep, dark impulses for interior decorating that you never realized you had until it's too late, and then you are ensnared. Born Loser, just be glad that you are fucking with The Sims 3, and therefore have the tremendous tool that is Create-A-Style, whose exclusion from The Sims 4 I will be angry about until the end of time. And, like, it doesn't seem like the Sims 4 content train is going to run dry anytime soon. I'm mixing my metaphors. Trains don't run dry, but you get my point. The content tap does not appear likely to go dry anytime soon. But I am very curious as to what a Sims 5 would look like. They have finally, assented to making at least the new expansions exclusive to 64-bit hardware. So, you know, it's possible that with The Sims 5, they will at least, acknowledge that that people generally have more sophisticated hardware. Because, it was hardware limitations, I think, of the general Sims audience that, was their justification for... That was a really harrowing experience, by the way. That was their general justification for getting rid of the open world and Create-A-Style in the first place. Because Create-A-Style is, to be fair... it makes the game chug. But, I do feel like just yammering on and on about The Sims while we're playing The Binding of Isaac is maybe not the most inclusive topic that we can go on about, but, Since when have I ever gone out of my way to, ooh, there's a chest. Lovely. To do what would be healthiest for my channel's growth, huh? This wouldn't be a genuine Ned Finn production if we cared a whit about audience optimization, eh? Again, this is all going a lot better than I expected. I honestly expected that I would have died by now and we'd be able to get into the real meat of what this episode should be, which is I'm really looking forward to doing the debut of, just gonna destroy all the pots, fuck it, of Lilith in Greed Mode, which will not be a channel debut, but it will be a stream debut for her. We did unlock Lilith on this file recently. I just ran straight into an enemy there. That's not a pro strat, not gonna lie. Don't run into enemies. Avoid taking damage, continue hitting enemies. That's my pro strats for the Binding of Isaac, folks. Well, I wouldn't have the meat, and then you brought it up, so thank you for that. I'm sure that we all appreciate the mental picture you have painted for us. scapular, which I believe is some sort of a Catholic thing. There's an awful lot of Catholicism in the Binding of Isaac. You've got the mitre, which is the Pope's hat. Got the wafer, which is, of course, a communion wafer. Prayer beads. Prayer cards. Or a prayer card, rather. It's the item that gives you an eternal heart when you use it. Quite useful for those degenerates among you who actually care about having red heart health. Not me. Well, I'm all about them sweet soul hearts and black hearts. And I guess I would be into bone hearts if I was skilled enough to unlock, what is it, the Forgotten? But I'm not, so it is of zero relevance to me. We could pick up, what is that, the headless thing? That's not his actual name, but you know, it's a headless baby, I think. But I don't feel like giving up 3/5 of my health, so I shall not. Let us not and say that we did. I don't know, we might actually... I mean, this Blue Baby is not a strong enough character, and this has not been an impressive enough run to where I feel like we're actually gonna accomplish great things, but you never know. We still might. One never knows. I didn't expect that we were actually going to win Greed Mode the other day with Azazel, then we got Tech X on the first floor. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is already a one run. I mean, essentially. I said it during that stream that, like, Azazel's miniature Brimstone is just not super well suited to Greed Mode. I think it's just because you've got the shot build up, like you have to charge the attack, and that just doesn't work when you have so many the possibility for so many enemies at once. Now we could stomple all over these mushrooms and hope to get a mini mush out of that, which would be pretty sweet. We can get pills. Are You a Wizard is not a good pill, but it is a pill nonetheless. We could also end up with an exploding mushroom, which would damage us, but I feel like even the chance of getting Are You a Wizard is enough, like, net upshot that we should keep doing that as the opportunity presents itself. Because Mini Mush is one of those items that you really don't want to pass up. I don't know. Just got an achievement, by the way. I guess because one of these dudes blew open the door. I don't know if I would agree with Big Country in saying that it's one of the best items that you can get. It is certainly a very good, robust item. But it's not like... I would resolve the best item you can get for, like, really, like, exciting, flashy items. Brimstone, Mom's Knife. I don't know if I would include Dr. Fetus in that, because he can be a corner case. Dr. Fetus with Ipecac, surely. And Mini Mush is a perfectly good item, don't get me wrong. We're glad to see it, along with that Saw Blade thing and the Halo, which all basically have the same effect. And I guess also, what is it, Capricorn, I believe, that is also an all stats up. I think Mini Mush is like one of the better all stats up items, but, you know, still. No, the pills are well, some of the pills are a permanent effect. So, like, the Are You a Wizard fades with time, thank goodness. But, like, stat boosts from pills, like range up, range down, you know, speed up, all that jazz. Those are permanent effects. Which is why something like the pill bottle with the PhD, which reveals all pill effects and makes all pill effects positive, can be a very powerful item. But on balance, your tarot cards are probably more desirable than pills because most of the tarot card effects are positive, whereas without mitigating effects, pills can be both beneficial and harmful. So it's a bit of a trade-off. It is worth mentioning, by the way, that for the first time in forever. Damn it, Ned! We're not supposed to sing on stream. Already things have gone off the fucking rail, and we're barely 15 minutes in. I am recording by myself, which is to say I am recording alone in the apartment, save for my dachshund Otto, who is my constant companion in these trying times. My wife Julia, who is a teacher, I don't think that's particularly secret on this here channel, is back in the classroom. They have returned to their hybrid model of instruction, where they're doing reduced class sizes, teaching both online and in the classroom, with a break that was unnecessary. With a break on Wednesday so that the school and all the classrooms can be cleaned. Cricket's head is a very good item. I'm going to read chat now. Okay, yeah. But yeah, so I am flying solo without anyone to cast judgmental glances as I, for instance, sing a few bars from Disney's Frozen. Apparently, that is what I'm choosing. Oh goodness, that is what I'm choosing to do with my newfound freedom. Apparently. Speaking of, which is this? Now this is just giving me extra room for cards. Still, you know, whatever. The Hermit is pretty good card, not right now, because we just got into the store, but we can use the Hermit on the next floor, I guess. Yeah, let's go up to 220, well, whatever. We'll have 5 coins on us, and there's nothing wrong with getting into the storeroom for free. I will go ahead and blow this motherfucker to Kingdom Come. We could buy the bomb to replace it, but fuck it. We don't, like, we got bombs. We don't need bombs, alright? We are dealing with Pestilence, one of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, as described in the Book of Revelation, final book of the Bible, and a very good item in this game. Incidentally, my favorite book of the Bible because it is batshit fucking crazy. And I say that with all due respect, but it is a really wild book. Yes, indeed, the meat. They is one of the Four Harbingers. A harbinger being, of course, something that foretells something. I feel okay about picking up the prayer card. It's better than the poop in any event. The Dead Sea Scroll maybe should have, but that was a little harbinger, wasn't it? The little scroll thing. I mean, among the familiars, it's like the little harbinger isn't like an amazing item. It's pretty good, but it's not like game changing. And honestly, the ability to generate more health between my poor skill and the layout of this character is probably for the best. Let's go to our storeroom with the Hermit card. I am going to pick up this playing card. 2 of spades is fine. I'm going to pick up the soul heart and the key, and we're going to duplicate our keys. And haul ass on out of there. Ooh, we should also blow up our storekeeper. Ooh, goodness. Maybe we'll get more... We could have fought the... Actually, I don't think we could have fought the angel. I don't know. I am not sure. But yeah, no. Revelation. It's a really interesting book. Very unlike anything. This is coming, by the way, from someone who is I guess you could say a Reformed Protestant. I was raised Methodist, not much of a Jesus-y fellow anymore. I would consider myself to be a practicing Unitarian Universalist, for what that's worth. And I will say that, like biblical scholarship is much more interesting coming from the perspective of not having to believe it's true, because then you can, like, actually appreciate, like, how, like the Gospels, for instance. The Gospels, particularly the book of John compared to the other three, tell wildly different stories from each other. And like, it's just something that you're not supposed to acknowledge as, like, a practicing literalist, Protestant. But as someone who is not that, you can, gosh, that's an awful lot of hanged mans. I mean, power of flight ain't bad, but it's just, it's a bit excessive. But, it's interesting to be able to look and say, like, oh, so, these the Gospels were written literal decades apart from one another. And you can sort of see how the world of Christian theology was changing through those texts. It's very interesting. Also worth mentioning chronologically, from a historical chronology at least. The book of Mark came first. It was Mark, then Matthew, then Luke. Yeah, and then, like, several decades after Luke was written, the book of John was written. It's fascinating stuff. But the book of Revelation is completely bonkers. Like, it starts off fairly normally. You have, like, it starts off with as a letter to the 7 churches of Asia Minor, which is how a lot of the later books of the New Testament start. They're mostly Paul's letters to these different emerging Christian communities across what I guess you would call the ancient world. In the early first century, essentially. And so you have, I'm glad that I killed him when I did. Get away from me. Oh, fuck. Well, okay. So it starts off normally enough with a letter addressing the 7 churches of Asia Minor. And then the author, the so-called John of Patmos, appears to suffer a complete mental breakdown. It's the exact the exact wording I'm a little bit fuzzy on it. It's been a while, but he says, and then, like, and I saw a door open into heaven, and then he goes on this fucking fever dream description of the statue and the 24 elders and the 4 living beasts that have all these goddamn wings. It's a really wild time, and there's all of these, like, features that let you kind of place it like in time. Like, the final version of Revelation that we're stuck with was almost certainly written in or like around the time of either Nero or Caligula, both of whom, it's worth mentioning, were extremely hostile to the early Christian community. It's the oppression of the ancient Christians is a little bit over overstated, but it is worth mentioning that Nero and Caligula were both very hostile to the early Christian community. Nero more so, but like Caligula was a very committed pagan and did not like this talk of, you know, this son of God who would be over any mortal king, right? I hope, by the way, that I'm not boring y'all as I ramble on about this. There's almost certainly, by the way, this is actually, it's very good that I'm getting these angel rooms. Can we even blow up the fucking angel yet? We sure can't. Okay. Oh, I kind of forgot that was the effect of this thing. Whatever, it's fine. Big damaging tears. But yeah, sound off in chat if this is like at all interesting or compelling. Y'all are very quiet, which I hope means that you're either like paying attention with rapt attention, or you're just completely falling off the fucking cliff. But I have at least one positive endorsement from Born Loser, so that's good. But yeah, so and the reason that we know that the general time of the writing, there's a couple of hints to it. One of them is actually the whole number of the beast thing. Like, people try to fucking put the number of the beast on everything, saying that, you know, that Bill Gates is gonna fucking microchip the shit into your arm or whatever. You know, there's been a long-standing conspiracy that, like, barcodes are the number of the beast. The number of the beast is, as it says in the text itself, is the number of a man. Let he who hath wisdom know, or whatever, that the number of the beast is 666. Or 616. The translations actually are not clear. What was that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where it's like, no, the number of the beast is actually 999, because that assumes that the number of the beast would have been written in Arabic numerals that could be then, you know, flipped upside down, which, like, I might be wrong about this. I'm willing to admit this, but I'm fairly certain, like, I know the Romans weren't using Arabic numerals, and I don't even know if Arabic numerals existed at this point to be inverted in a dream, so, fuck it, whatever. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, so the whole let he who hath wisdom thing is basically, like there's another instance of that particular language, is used in elsewhere in the text, but it's basically saying, like, for those, like, here's a message for those of you who are in the know. In Hebrew, there is, like, an alphanumeric system where, like, all this is big in, like, Kabbalah, I think, or Kabbalah. I'm not 100% sure on how that's supposed to be pronounced. My understanding of what Kabbalah is basically, like, I know the Sephiroth is a thing, and what I saw in the Darren Aronofsky film Pi, so make of that what you will. But there's, ooh, sweet, speaking of the Book of Revelation, soul protection, don't mind if I do. And I'll take the bookworm transformation, absolutely. Should I have taken the Bible? Maybe. Flight is good, but more health is better, I think. Because we're doing okay for ourselves. I will take tough love. I wish our tears were a little bit faster. Our shot speed is pretty uninspiring, but you know, we make do. This is going pretty well. End of Days, that's the one, if memory serves. Oh yeah. Three comes up a fair amount. Not as much as you might think, though. Like, in modern Christian theology, 3 is a pretty sacred number because it's the number of the trilogy. It's the number of the Trinity. But numbers like 7 and... I mean, really 7 is the big one. Honestly, like, I know 7 is big for the Catholics. I think 12 is really the really big one, because you have the 12 disciples, you have the 12 tribes of Judah. You have the 24 elders, which is 12 adjacent at least. But in any event, so there's this alphanumeric system in Hebrew where all letters have a numeric value applied to them, and if you can like kind of decode this shit in such a way that like 666 specifically refers to Emperor Nero, and 616 refers to Caligula. Their Hebrew their names transliterated into Hebrew, and then with this alphanumeric system, like the numerical values of the Hebrew characters that make up the names Nero and Caligula make equal 666 and 616 respectively. I think. It's been a while, but I know that there's like a distinct connection between the two of them. In any event, there is reason to suspect that John of Patmos, the guy who's referred to as John of Patmos, the author of the Book of Revelation, there's evidence to suggest that an earlier draft of the book existed that would have been written in the time of the Roman Emperor Domitian, which, if you take like the absolute earliest dates that Revelation could have been, like the writing could have begun, and the absolute latest dates for the book of Mark, that would actually mean that the final book of the New Testament might have actually had been begun the writing process of it. Let me rephrase that so I'm actually using like human English grammar. It's possible that the writing, I'm trying to think of the best. Basically, it's possible that Revelation was actually written before the Book of Mark, or at least an early version of Revelation was, which I find really, really interesting and speaks to, again, just sort of the timeline disparity in this stuff. But there's also just like interesting facts like the Old Testament, the Hebrew scripture, as it were, is referred to all over the place throughout the New Testament. Like Jesus was a rabbi. He was a radical rabbi with some really new ideas compared to typical, like the Pharisees, as it were. Well, you know, Anonymous, I'm glad you bring up Lilith, because we're gonna be playing as her later in this stream, possibly quite soon, because our health is not looking super great. Yeah. So Jesus, he was a rabbi. He references the Hebrew text throughout the New Testament. He's, you know, if you have like a very classic like NIV, or particularly the King James Bible, anywhere you see the red letter text is supposedly like direct quotes from Jesus. He's quoted as quoting scripture a fair amount. The Apostle Paul was originally Saul. He gets he's supposedly a guy who is doing a lot of persecuting of the Christians. He's a Pharisee. He gets blinded on the road to Damascus by Jesus in his weird spirit form that's not discussed anywhere else in the book. But he's blinded on the road to Damascus, goes to, I believe, Peter. I might be dead wrong about this. I know he goes to supposedly one of the disciples who heals him, and then he becomes a radical convert and becomes the Apostle Paul. He was a Pharisee. Obviously, he's going to be referencing the Hebrew scripture a lot. What's interesting about the book of Revelation, besides the fact that it is nothing like anything else in the New Testament, it's extremely it speaks very figuratively, there's a lot of metaphorical language. It's really trippy ass language, and it's very similar to the books of, to a lesser extent, Isaiah, and to a larger extent, the book of Ezekiel, which are the two, like, prophetic texts. Like, the capital P prophetic texts of the Old Testament, or the Old Testament. Ezekiel in particular, what's fascinating is that it's very clear, like, and this is, like, biblical scholarship has come to a consensus on this, it's very clear that John of Patmos, in quotes, was familiar with the book of Ezekiel, but did not have a copy of it on hand when he was writing, because he makes lots of references to Ezekiel, but he never actually quotes it directly. And, like, if you had it, you would have quoted it. Which I think it's very neat that we can, like, draw out that kind of information based on, you know, biblical exegesis, which is the process of scholarly investigations of any text, Christian, Jewish, or otherwise. So I think that's my big. I think that's going to be my big Bible ramble for now. Oh, also very relevant to what we're currently playing. The story of Isaac and Abraham is fucking wild if you take it literally, right? Like, it kind of works as a metaphor, right? Like, you know, it is, you know, that it is important to subject yourself to the will of God. That he's got a plan. How are we still getting storerooms? I thought we were past all this. I guess we haven't. We have not fought Mom yet. Oh well. This is our last opportunity for an item room, I suppose. That's good that we're spending all of our money now. I should have picked up that charge instead of those bombs. Whatever. You know, that you should subject yourself to God's will to the very end. Fine. You know, you took a bit of a wild approach of telling the story, but whatever. But no, if you're supposed to believe that, like, that Abraham was a literal dude who literally took his son up a mountain to intentionally, willfully sacrifice him on God's command, that makes Abraham sound like a fucking lunatic. Like, that is the sort of person that we would put in prison. Yeah, that's some Son of Sam excuses. Although, of course, Son of Sam recanted his statements about his dog telling him to kill. That he eventually revealed that he was just making that up. I learned that thanks to Netflix's Mindhunters, which then caused me to Google Son of Sam. I was like, oh, okay. Interesting stuff. So we're at least killing Mom. I am suspicious of our ability to get to Mom's heart, although these are both really good items. Hey, the meat. You are welcome. I am more than happy to waste your time whenever. I'm gonna take the habit. I would have liked Dead Dove. Flight is good, but I think the ability of recharging our health machine is more valuable. Everyone in chat, stay frosty, y'all. It's all good. My audience reserves the right to register their discontent. Whether or not I will listen to it is another matter, but they retain the right to register it nonetheless. honestly, there are more inappropriate forums or vectors for discussion of biblical scholarship than the Binding of Isaac. It's not entirely off-brand. At least I'm not doing, like, one of the two very gauche YouTube things, which would either be, here are, like, 17 reasons why Christians are all idiots, or, here are 17 reasons why Q is real. Although I suppose the QAnon community is a little bit more in tatters now than they were, I'm gonna say, a week ago. Which is not to say that I didn't go through my sort of edgy, agnostic, atheist phase, because I did. It didn't get as bad as it could have, which is to say I didn't eventually fall down the weird cross-section of, like, atheist YouTube and, like, hardcore anti-feminist, like, transphobic YouTube, thank goodness. But, I had my time, and I've sort of settled that out, where it's like, if, like, I think, like, of the people in that infamous, Four Horsemen of the Non-Apocalypse thing, where you had Hitchens, Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, and Dan Dennett all around a table basically talking about why they do not believe in a divine entity of any kind. I once actually, I had a world religions teacher who once said that he thought that Sam Harris was actually a Buddhist. He just didn't realize it. Where, of course, as we all would later come to realize, oh no, Sam Harris is just a budding Islamophobe, masquerading under the pretense of reasonableness. But of those four people around that table, really the one who I would identify most clearly with would be Dan Dennett, who has spoken at length about, like, the importance of the belief in belief, and the fact that, like, religious belief can bring a lot of meaning to a lot of people's lives, and it can result, it can do a lot of good. It can also do a lot of harm. And it's important to recognize both things. But, like, the stuff that Jesus talked about, or was attributed to Jesus, it's worth mentioning, is pretty solid stuff. I would argue that, like, at least the things that you most commonly think of when you think about Jesus are relatively progressive, I would even argue somewhat socialistic viewpoints, When Jesus is said to have, healed people, he didn't ask to see their fucking insurance card. He just healed them. From each according to their ability, to each according to their need. To quote, who the fuck said that? It wasn't Marx. It was Louis Blanc, French socialist Louis Blanc, who was then later quoted by Marx. It originated the phrase "to each according to from each according to their ability, to each according to their need." Although I think that Blanc and Marx both used male pronouns, from each according to his ability. But this is we're inclusive over here at this channel, right? We accept all kinds of folk, even weird fish toenail avatared people. Avatared sound, I don't like how that sounds. Like you know what I mean, but I that sounds like a really, like, mean term for, like, people who like The Last Airbender. I did not like how that felt coming out of my mouth. But you get what I was saying. Is it lives? Yeah, it lives. Can we beat this with only 4 hearts? I am suspicious of my ability to do this. Especially because we can only take 4 hits. Although, maybe... Oh, come on. Oh, dry baby. Oh, shit. Come on, come on. Yes! Don't get hit by the... Yes! Woo! We killed Mom's heart with Blue Baby, y'all. I was not expecting that. Let's see what the Angel Room has for us before we immediately go to our death. Hey! It's, a bunch of soul hearts. And a bag of bombs. Cool. I love having these eternal chests, and I love actually having keys. Hey, Forgotten Horseman. I want to say that's war. I mean, all these keys and coins especially are really useless to me right now. Oh, no, I shouldn't have taken Bob's brain. Bob's brain is a bad item. Oh, Jeebus. Let's go and fight Isaac. Why not? War, Conquest, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Unless... Ooh. I'm trying to think. Someone in chat, look up what the biblical 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are. Well, no, because war is... Where is this fucker right there that we just killed? I think famine and pestilence are 2 separate horsemen. I think, okay. I think Conquest might be taking the place of Death, because if isn't... I think Death might even... I don't think Death is supposed to be blindfolded in Revelation, but 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I think in Revelation it's death, war, pestilence, and famine. Which honestly, you'd think that pestilence and famine, like you could probably get 1 horseman to pull double duty on that, but whatever. I'm not here to advise Heaven on how to reduce redundancy for the apocalypse. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to pitch that up to the logistics department. They're God. You and the other members of the so-called Trinity are gonna have to work that out for yourselves. Memory serves, Revelation puts, Death on a pale horse, which I'm pretty sure, fits the visual for, Conquest in this game. Also worth mentioning, just as a random tangent, because this is the Random Tangent Variety Hour, apparently, that a version of that line, behold, I think in the text itself, it's, like I looked up and I beheld a rider on a pale horse, but a version of that, simply, behold a pale horse, was used as the title for the first and possibly only book of wild-eyed, deranged conspiracy theorist Bill Cooper, who was a right-wing radio personality and public conspiracy theorist back in the, I want to say, 80s and 90s, who is honestly probably a big inspiration for everyone's favorite gay frog expert, Alex Jones. And as a nice coda to that, Jones actually had Bill Cooper on his show once, and only once, because Bill Cooper basically told him he was a fucking idiot. Which is funny because, like, Cooper was himself also, like, fucking crazy. We just killed Isaac with Blue Baby. Do you know what that means, folks? We've unlocked the D6 for Isaac, which lets us reroll items. That was tremendously good, what we just pulled off. I honestly, I expected just to, like, to open that up to give me something to do before we actually get into, hell yeah, Isaac now holds the D6. Fuck yeah, he does. That went super fucking well. Now, we are going to go for a little greed run. Our win streak is actually up pretty high. Hopefully this will go as well as that last run did, although, starting off with the belly button isn't a great start. Ooh, but you know what is a great start is the fact that we got this little guy here waiting for us. Okay, so for anyone who needs a refresher on how Lilith works, she begins with blindfolded and with an incubus. This means that she cannot fire tears of her own, but her little familiar can. With her used item, Box of Friends, you can create a duplicate of every type of familiar you have. If I were to use that item again, it would not create 4, it would just give me another incubus. Or succubus? Succubus. Yeah, because the incubus is the burlier one that, like, floats around on his own little pattern. So, you will understand why I am such a big fan of Lilith in greed mode shortly. Actually, I'll just tell you right frickin' now. Incidentally, the Rotten Penny is not the worst trinket we could have picked up, particularly for greed mode. It'll generate flies every time we pick up a coin. Which is a nice little boost to damage. So yeah, the familiar duplicating effect only persists for the room, but because greed mode is largely played out in a single room of enemies, that every time a new wave spawns, it will recharge a charge for our used item. That does mean that we get to get multiple uses out of Box of Friends. And it also means that we get to put a premium. I should not have taken that damage. I just literally ran into something bad. It will really put a premium on items that affect, like, battery-type items, like Little Charge Baby in the shop. Actually, once I am done with this wave, before we deal with the bosses, I'm going to take a brief break to go and feed my dog. A little bit ahead, like just a couple minutes ahead of schedule, but that way I don't have to interrupt myself at a less convenient time. Alrighty then. Okay, so now in a normal greed run, this is where we would take a break, go to the store, and maybe buy an item. But because we've got Lilith and we do not want her extra succubi to despawn, we're just going to head straight on into the boss. I mean, we essentially have quadrupled our damage thanks to Box of Friends. So... honestly, I could not have asked for a better starting item than... I literally ran into a fly. Than the little battery buddy up there. I can never remember what his name actually is, but we'll figure that out. What's your name, guy? Charged Baby, that's the one. Do we have any bombs? No. Maybe we'll get a bomb in here of some kind. Nope, it's the Ankh. How uninspiring. We would get a chance to respawn as Blue Baby of all fucking things. Okay. You know, like something like the car battery might have been like a flashier, more exciting, like seeming item, but honestly, Charge Baby is going to be the thing that carries us through. I'm just now seeing Anonymous saying, upon a white horse sat a rider, and that rider was Finn. Yeah, or were Finn. Thank you, Anonymous. I appreciate that. I've ridden a horse, I believe, once in my life. But I appreciate the sentiment nonetheless. Ooh, well, that's not too bad. So what Charge Baby does, by the way, is that he will occasionally refill one of our charge bars, or, more importantly, will drop... Oh, I forgot that. So, unfortunately, having more familiars, more types of familiars, will sort of spread out the distribution of our succubi, which will make it slightly harder to aim, but... with enough of them, it won't matter. And we are going to be loaded down with, frankly, an embarrassment of bombs. Because since the bag of bombs is considered to be a familiar, as is Charge Baby, which is where the real magic starts. See, look at... we've already got this fucking ludicrous conga line of friends here from our box. All virtually impossible to meaningfully aim, but we've got enough of them that it doesn't matter as much as you might think. I almost did get stuck on a hole there, and almost took some really unfortunate damage there. But it's fine. Also, by the way, since we are at about the midway point for the stream, this is usually where I like to make my little call to action. I'm just completely stabinated by damage in that corner there. If you're enjoying this stream, make sure to give it a like. If you are not subscribed to the channel, are enjoying this content, and would like to see more, feel free to hit the subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed, here's my challenge to y'all. If you want a way to continue to support the channel, share this content out. If you're enjoying this, you know, think of someone else who might see. There you go. Who you think might enjoy this as well, and mention them. I said at the beginning of the stream, I tend to go 3:30 to 5:30 Tuesdays and Thursdays. I've kept up that schedule probably more consistently than I ever kept up my any previous YouTubing schedules, for what it's worth. So you can usually expect to see me there. Usually I only break that schedule to add more streams in the week, like a Saturday or a Monday bonus stream or something. We are going to go, by the way, for the for our devil deal. Honestly, I would be happy with just like some extra black hearts. We've only taken a little bit of damage here and there, which is good. I think I picked up either a soul heart or an extra black heart at some point. But, you know. It's all good. I mean, Guppy's Paw is fun, but I strongly suspect that we are not going to get Guppy this run, so I'm not going to bother with it. Normally, I would pick up Guppy's Paw, even if I didn't intend to use it. But, you know. It's better to... Honestly, it would be better to save our red heart containers for deals that would give us more familiars. Increase our damage density a little bit. We've got a real large number of bombs. I don't think I'm going to pick up the experimental treatment. I'm not feeling it just now. I'd love to see something like the Steam sale come out of one of these shopkeepers from blowing them up. I'm not like super expecting that, but you know, judgment. You love to see it when you can. Let's see if this button is going to yield anything good. Nope. What a terrible thing to happen. Not even going to do me the courtesy of showing me what their health bar is. Although apparently just one jolt from a black heart is enough to kill them, which we love to see. Honestly, I'll take up both of the mushrooms. We might get a fungi transformation. That would be nice. I wouldn't complain about it. By the way, that's Ipecac. I'm not fucking with Ipecac. No, thank you. If this were a different character, maybe, but we don't need that many explosive globs flying around. We simply don't. Going into this fight with only one incubus, I'm not, like, loving. But we'll get a second one soon, and then, I mean, more importantly, we'll also get a second, charged baby, which is when things really start to pop off for us in terms of synergies. By the way, folks, this is just a little update from within the Finosphere. I made a truly delicious, I guess you'd say it was a carbonara last night, and I promised myself I would brag about it on stream, so that is what I'm doing. It was terrific. It was very, very good. It had bacon, peppers, mushrooms, super good, and it's a really, really easy recipe to make. It comes together in like 30 minutes. If that, and it probably costs all of like $15 or $16, if that, to put together. And it makes leftovers. It's a good freaking recipe. I've got like this past Christmas, I got an embarrassment of cooking related things, including not one but two different cookbooks. One of which was How to Cook Everything: the Basics. Which is where the basis for that, that recipe came from. I added the peppers and mushrooms at my wife's strong suggestion, and it was very, very good. The base is just it's an interesting technique that I hadn't encountered before. where you basically you're cooking your pasta like you normally would, and then in a separate heated bowl. The book said to like take an oven safe bowl and bake it in the oven for like 5 minutes at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, but I didn't have an oven safe bowl, so I literally just took a big Corelle dish and I threw it in the microwave for 2.5 minutes and it was fine. You take a heated bowl and you put 3 raw eggs and like a cup of grated Parmesan. It's supposed to be. Oh shit! Did I fucking? Oh, God damn it! I fucking died. Completely wasn't paying attention. I'm not even gonna play through. Well, fuck it. You know what? Fuck it. Get to show y'all what Ipecac does. I just was not paying attention. I was completely wrapped up in my damn. My range isn't even that fucking good. Completely caught up in my damn story. This is what happens when I try to do a cooking show while I'm doing fucking Isaac. I'll be really funny if I get a greed win with a greed win and a mom or an Isaac and an It Lives win with fucking Blue Baby, which is what we are now, by the way. We've respawned as Blue Baby because of the Onk. My whole fucking strategy is all messed up now. But yeah, you take 3 raw eggs and like a cup of grated Parmesan. You put it in the heated bowl, and then once, like as soon as the pasta is done cooking, you drain it and then immediately dump it into the bowl and you start mixing it. And the heat of the pasta actually cooks the egg and like melts the cheese, but it cooks the egg as you're stirring it around. And it makes the sauce. Like it's a really good like proteiny cheese. Now that's a fucking wild thing to do, huh? Oh god damn it! We had fucking the battery, which would have been really nice. I don't know why I bought that. We don't need the battery now. And BFF. Oh my god, this would have been such a good fucking Lilith run if I just hadn't been a damn idiot taking unnecessary damage like a fool. Although Anonymous, I do appreciate the joke of food so good to die for. And it was, frankly, it was really, really good food. Anyway, god damn it, that's unfortunate. That's really tragic. We'll come back, we'll do another run with Lilith, and we'll actually win. Heck, maybe we'll actually get a chance. At this point, I'm just, like, trolling for, Are you kidding me? We had the 9-volt, too? all I need to see now is the fucking car battery. And, the pain and suffering of this run will be complete. Halo I will take. Oh god damn it, I don't even have the money for it. Well, whatever. We'll take on some of these baddies and then fucking deal with our shitty luck afterwards. It's also worth mentioning that I'm doing burgers tonight on the griddle. I fucking love my griddle. And the last time I did griddle burgers, it turned out really friggin' well. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Just like simple stuff: tomatoes, onions, cheese, and with fancy buns, I'm using brioche buns. And I could do some kind of like fancy side, like some like potato wedges or something, but we're just doing chips. Although I did buy Pringles for the occasion, which is gotta be worth something. See, what's tragic is that we lost fucking Cambrian Conception and the Succubus. So, like, the utility of Box of Friends has been substantially diminished. Honestly, these damage up items are not nearly as valuable to us because we have Ipecac, and Ipecac is such a strong item. Although our flies are, like, hella powerful. I'm very... fucking Skolex. I hate this dude. Really, and there we go. Yep, I saw it coming. Well, it's not like I didn't have plenty of bombs anyway. The meat. Anyway, let's do another Lilith run. And let's not be a damn fool this time and get distracted by thoughts of delicious, delicious carbonara. At this point, like, this is just proving to be a really indulgent stream now that I think about it. Ran straight into a fly. It's fine. Yeah, I'm playing The Binding of Isaac, which is, like, probably one of my favorite games of all time. It's certainly a game that I've put the greatest amount of time into mastering. You know, and I've talked about food. I've talked about I've flexed my weird amounts of biblical knowledge. I don't know what else we could do to, like, what other subjects could come up that would make this even more indulgent. We could talk about, Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, how good the IT crowd is, how good BoJack Horseman is. I mean, theoretically, although the previous run sort of proved us wrong, theoretically, like, greed mode with Lilith is supposed to be, like, easy enough that I can, in theory, talk pretty, pretty freely about stuff. The meat, what's going on with your brain? Although, in fairness, I feel like I have that effect on people. Had a former coworker of mine who was probably mildly perturbed, but I think just more baffled by the amount of info I had rattling around off in my head. It's like, how do you know all this stuff? It's like, I don't know, Michael. Why don't you know what the fucking Third Reich was? That's a call-out, folks. You should know what the fucking Third Reich was. If you're over the age of 20... Fuck, if you're over the age of, like, 15, you should know what the Third Reich was. I'm sorry. We were talking about, fiction versus non-fiction books, and he was saying, like, I am not interested in non-fiction. I'm like, but there are so many good non-fiction books out there. You got, like, the classics, like The Looming Tower and The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. And he was like, what's the Third Reich? And I'm like, what do you mean, what's the Third Reich? It's the fucking Nazis, you weirdo! Suffice it to say, the meat. I think that you'd be able to find people who would sympathize with your brain pain from tolerating, you know, an hour and 15 minutes of me so far, which I do appreciate, for the record. In the truly ever expandingly wide world of content. I am honored that you have chosen to spend a little bit of this time with yours truly. Thank you for indulging me in my peculiarities. Did we go into our treasure room on the previous floor? I don't think we did. Oh well, it was probably something stupid. Mr. Dolly! Oh, Mr. Dolly gave us the good hearts this time. None of that red heart bullshit. Expendable hearts all the way. The habit is an okay item. It's kind of it's a shittier version of Charged Baby insofar as it will allow us to regain charges as like bonus charges, as a not an infinite number of charges because they can't see me because I don't have an infinite amount of health, but you know. It occurs to me that by waiting around, I did actually cause the timer on the next wave to tick down, so we probably don't want to be fucking around with that too much. I mean, Camo Kit is not a bad item, but it's not useful to us, is the thing. Camo Kit actually isn't... It actually isn't, like, that great of an item. Like, it's not the sort of thing that you're, like, actively like, oh, fuck no, I'm not going to take that. It's no soy milk. It's no Tiny Planet. There's no Cricket's Head either, if you know what I mean. Incidentally, Lord of the Flies is, like, the title is actually also probably drawn from the Book of Revelation. Like, it's in the book The Lord of Flies, if it's been a while. But I think it's what the kids referred to, how the kids referred to, like, the pig's head, that they had, like, posted up, and it became, like, it was attracting a lot of flies because it was a rotting pig's head. Okay, I definitely missed one of... No, I didn't. Oh, shit. Well... But Lord of Flies is the English translation for the Hebrew name Beelzebub. It literally means Lord of Flies. So, there you go. Y'all's brains are gonna leave this fucking stream today practically sagging with knowledge, with sweet, juicy information. Gotta make sure to drink my water. Keep my voice in good condition. Honestly, we haven't gotten any super exciting items yet, but at least not having like a bunch of random extra... You know, I rarely pick up trinkets, but honestly, I'll take the fucking thumbtack. The occasional piercing shot is not a bad thing to have. The halo I will take. I mean, we can beat Ultra Greed with just 2 succubi. It'll be fine. It'll just be a slightly more standard run. But like, what we want to do is get something like the car battery to at least get 3 up in there. Car battery, Charged Baby. Honestly, a lot of the items that we saw the previous run. The 9-volt, the battery, Trickle Charge is another good one. Fucking Jacob's Ladder. Which we saw that item a few streams back, where it's the one that creates electricity every time a tier impacts somewhere. If I'm not mistaken, I think Jacob's Ladder, the item name, is a reference to something from Genesis, I want to say. Where Jacob receives... actually, that might be Ezekiel. I don't know. Someone at some point receives a vision of a ladder extending up into heaven and sees angels ascending and descending it. It's a weird one. And also belies the really simplistic view of the cosmos that that folks at the time had. That shit is particularly clear in Genesis, because at the time, the belief among this group of people was that the Earth was enclosed in what was referred to as a firmament, which was essentially like a big glass dome over the surface, the flat surface of the Earth, protecting, in the eyes of the authors of Genesis at least, keeping out the oh, for fuck's sake. Balls, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, this was a bad move. God damn it. Fuck the bloat. And this is a shittier, like, explodey version of the bloat as well. God damn it. Fuck this dude. Well, I better get something good out of my fucking devil deal then. Oh, God. That's what I get for not paying attention. That being said, I'll take the pentagram. Why not? But yeah, so, I'm trying to remember the exact wording now. It says at the very beginning of the creation story in Genesis, BFF, I will take that, and the car battery. Thank you. I'll take fanny pack as well. It's 7 cents. It's fine. It talks about God separating the waters above and below. That there's like water. There's like weird space water that's outside the firmament. And in the flood myth, in the flood story, the wells of the deep spring up. So there's water coming up out of the ground, and also God opens the windows in the firmament and basically lets this space water like pour in over the earth. Bob's head is not of use to me, tragically, but it's not. We've got to actually be a little bit careful here. Our health is lower than I would care for it to be. But we do have the car battery, which means that our used item effects, our activated items, I should say, those are duplicated. And thanks to BFF, our familiars are now burlier. They're bigger. They're better. They're more handsome, I think. Or more beautiful. I guess they're succubi, so they would be, because they're feminine. They'd be. I mean, you can be a handsome woman, in both a traditional sense and a a more modern sense of the word. I'm not here to judge. I'm the opposite of here. I'm here to do the opposite of judge. I'm here to include. Or at least if I'm gonna judge anything, I'm gonna judge folks as, as super heckin' valid. Is Skullx? Oh, this is fucking Skullx. Fuck you, Skullx. Nobody likes you. You were the villain in Inspector Gadget. Good God, that's a deep fucking... Does anyone fucking remember the live-action Inspector Gadget movie they made with Matthew Broderick? I'm showing my, you know, the era in which I grew up in, I suppose. Anyway, please ignore me. Please ignore me, an obvious crazy person. This is what happens when my wife isn't around to corral me, but with her presence. Oh, okay, no, that was good. Okay, blah. Everything's fine. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you have a chunk of meat. I'm fucking singing again. Chat, y'all need to call me out when I start singing. I can't abide it. The Fool is utterly unsexy item, but I'll take it. We're gonna find... Probably not worth the money, but if we could get, like, I don't know, Greed's Head or, like the quarter would be nice. There's things that we can get from blowing up the shopkeepers that make exploding them kind of worth it. I don't know. It's up in the air, really. Anyway, I will say I've been, like, I was looking forward to this stream like all day today, and I'm really looking forward to not tomorrow's stream, but Thursday's stream as well. It's been a while since I've played Stellaris. Certainly, it's been a while since I've played Stellaris for the channel. I know that they're, like, working on a population retool. I don't know if that's, like, live yet or not. I know that their next big piece of DLC ain't out yet. Because I keep current with the new content stuff for with the new expansion packs for Stellaris. Not always, like, I don't get the I'll wait on the story packs, and the species packs I'm not super interested in. I know that those have started adding gameplay more recently, but yeah. But the expansions, I keep fucking current with those. They're too big not to. I mean, even though they do include like in Stellaris, every new expansion coincides with here's our buddy Conquest BZV. Every new expansion coincides with a big patch that includes some, like, actual gameplay stuff from the new expansion, but it's not the same as actually having the expansion itself. Let's see here. Indeed, Anonymous, indeed. The only cuts I make are deep cuts. Yeah, we're doing space shit on Thursday. It should be fun. Do we have the habit? Is that an item that we picked up? Yes. Mini mush. Ooh, cube of meat is actually a surprisingly good item for Lilith. I kind of think we're going a little bit faster than I would prefer. There's a point where, like, speed is actually kind of less desirable. You know, I think at this point we just need to focus on, if we can find soul hearts, Jesus Christ. If we can find soul hearts, that would be great. If we can find some items that will increase our red heart containers, that would be great too. We just really need to increase our max capacity of health. Because even with all of these familiars, yeah, I did. I mean, Great is still, or Ultra Great is still pretty tanky, and we want to have some health on us to counteract that. So we're gonna do, I hope there's a reroll machine in there. If not, that's gonna make my life a little bit harder. Their fucking bloat is back. Although he's not in like an especially shitty version, which I guess is better than not. We're not even fucking looking at what we're shooting at. We're just avoiding these little slugs that are coming out after us. Oh, you see that? We spawned a little leech there. That's thanks to Cambrian Conception. Which is it's a passive item that Lilith starts off with. Ooh, yes, that's very good. I think we can beat. Let's go for 5. Yeah. I completely lost track of my thought there. 100%. Oh, yeah. Cambrian Conception. It is a passive item that Lilith begins with, where... ooh, cool. She has a very, very, very small chance of occasionally spawning a new familiar. Like a brand new type of familiar. Not like a copy, but like an actual new one, which is how we got those leeches there. And I think it draws from a particular like loot table. Item pool. That's the word I was looking for. I'm pretty sure it draws from a specific pool, because like I've never seen her spawn like a cube of meat or anything. It's usually like the incubus, another succubus, like a base starting second succubus, or the little leech fellow there. It's a shame that we lost our win streak from earlier. We were up to a win streak of 3, which doesn't sound like much, but you know. We can't all be Sinvicta with his fucking like his win streak in like the hundreds. Which is just beyond me. Like I could play this game for like 1,000 hours or 1,000 years more. I don't think I would ever have the necessary skill to get my win streak that high. I don't think I could. Oh shit, I didn't even fucking do the greed machine. Whatever, we'll be back. I don't know, folks. Let's do a frickin' let's do the first chunk of a greed or of an Eden run, yeah? Have a little fun. For the last 30 minutes of the stream, unless y'all in chat can think of something else that you'd like to see, because honestly, like 30 minutes isn't a lot of time to do anything. Our damage is pretty good out the gate. Not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad. What items do we have? We've got this reusable bomb. We've got our little beggar familiar, who is not Bumbo. Bumbo is something different. I don't remember what this little fella's name is, but he's not Bumbo. Bumbo looks doofier. Luck up.
I'm excited.
Ooh! Sulfuric acid. Everyone's favorite. Lovely. Alright, we've got just keep playing from Born Loser. Can do. If I'm not mistaken, sulfuric acid has the ability to reveal secret rooms as well. So we might have to do a little explore around, so long as it's, you know, effectively free. I guess we could also use our reusable bomb buddy. I'll tell you what, I'm doing better at drinking my water. It's so nice to have. It's so nice to be able to get hey, there you go. Red heart health. Now this, ooh, no, that's not a sacrifice room. That's just a regular. There we go. Regular old, lovely. Curse room. If we had a sacrifice room on our hands, then we might get an interesting opportunity presenting itself. Not a single soul heart from any of those things. Well, what can you do? Only beaten Mom's heart with Eden. I don't think that we're going to get any other completion marks this stream, just because, like, 20-odd minutes is not really enough time. What kind of shitty-ass library room is this? There's just a pile of poop and some flies. Truly, truly disappointing. I used 2 keys to get into that damn place. Oh. So far, this floor is nothing but disappointments. I've never even seen a room like that before. What the fuck was that? I will tell you that the next big milestone for this Isaac file is because we did just beat Isaac possibly for the first time in this file with Blue Baby of all fucking things. Actually, if we die really soon, I might actually start up a new Isaac run, so that I can show off the D6. It's a very useful item. I probably use the D6 more than I should. Like, I probably use it more aggressively than I should. But, you know. This is one of the technology things. I'm always... You don't want to pick up the Ludovicio technique. That's a rough one to deal with. Unless you have a brimstone effect, in which case it's fine. Because Ludovicio technique plus brimstone is basically just like a giant fucking donut of lasery death. Come on, fucking... There we go. Ate my fucking nickel! Do not take my nickel this time, bum friend. No, no, no. Next big, and I mean like big, milestone for these Isaac streams for this file is going to be beating... Oh, Jesus Jesus, I almost knocked over my fucking microphone. Is going to be beating Mega Satan. There is a substantial goddamn delay in on the stream there. By the way, I know that there's been 2 moments during the stream where stream cut out. That's because I accidentally hit the F key, and which caused the game to go out of full screen mode. Just me doing a little misclick, but there's nothing to worry about. Fucking Soul Converter is not a good item. The Soul Converter is basically the opposite of Guppy's Paw. Guppy's Paw takes red heart containers and transforms them into 3 it's an activated item, I should say. Every time you activate it, it takes one of your red heart containers and turns it into 3 soul hearts. It can actually be very useful for final boss battles if you don't already have an activated item, because it basically works like regeneration. You can regenerate heart health on the fly by turning your old soul or your old red heart container into soul hearts, right? But the Soul Converter, what that does is it turns soul hearts into red heart containers, which isn't like awful, but it's also not. What the fuck am I doing putting a bomb there? Complete brain fart. I'm baffled by that fucking decision. I don't know what compelled me to do that. Who the fuck knows? Piggy bank is fine. I'll take Demon's Tail. For the record, I think probably the best trinket in the game is, god damn it, is the curled horn, which you get for doing something. That's very, very specific, Ned. Thanks a bunch. It's a trinket that increases your damage by 2 points. I'm pretty sure it's an Azazel associated trinket. But anyway, the next big milestone, I feel like I've started this fucking thought like 3 separate times. The next big milestone that we have to do is Mega Satan. Which we're probably not going to manage for a while, partially because I don't play Isaac on stream all that often, but even so. Even getting to the boss fight with Mega Satan is a profoundly esoteric process. Well, actually, no. The next big milestones are going to be beating the Lamb and Blue Baby. Have we beaten Blue Baby on stream yet? No, I don't. We can't have. No, we can't have because we just beat Isaac for the first time. And we haven't completed the picture yet. You need to beat Isaac and maybe or Satan 5 times. No. You need to beat each of them 5 times to get to their corresponding like next layer of the game. So you beat Isaac 5 times, you get access to the chest. From where you can take on Blue Baby. The boss. Not the playable character. And after you beat Satan 5 times, you can move on past him to a dark place wherein you fight the Lamb. And then once... I think, like, once... By the time that you have access to those 2 characters... I'm gonna fucking use this. I've got plenty of bombs. Plus, we can use the Bible to beat Mom's Heart and Mom if we get to it, which seems unlikely, at least for the getting to Mom part of the equation. But yeah. So, okay. So, in the chest and the dark place, in the first room in which you spawn, you encounter... There's a big door on the top side of the room, like the north side, I guess you'd say. Like this fucking side of the room where I'm standing. And in order to get to it, beyond that door is the Mega Satan fight. I'm just taking all kinds of stupid damage here, aren't I? Beyond that door is the Mega Satan fight. In order to get through that door, you need a key. How do you get the key? And not like a normal, pickup key. It's a key familiar, essentially. It follows you around. How do you get the key? You get the key by assembling 2 key pieces. How do you get the key pieces? By you need to fight angels in the angel deal rooms. They're not deals, but because you're not the angel rooms. So in other words, what you need to do in order to get the angel rooms to spawn. And you can use sacrifice rooms, which are the rooms with the spikes in the middle of the floor and nothing else. You can hurt yourself in those rooms with those spikes for certain benefits, including an increased chance of getting access to angel rooms. I also know that if you sacrifice enough into one of those rooms, you can get teleported to a very late stage in the game. I don't remember what stage in the game, but it's a late stage. But anyway, the traditional way of getting into the angel rooms is preferably on the first floor, or the second floor rather. I guess you could do it on the first floor if you got a Joker card, but typically by the second floor, you want to get to a Devil Deal room, right? Don't pick up anything, or at least don't spend red heart health on anything. If there are black hearts on the floor, fine. If you have Pupilla Duplex in order to duplicate those collectibles, you can do that. But you can't spend red heart health on anything. If you do that, the next time the necessary conditions are met to spawn a Devil Deal room, you have a 50% chance of spawning an angel room. If the angel room spawns, you go into there and you detonate a bomb next to the angel statue. The angel statue will then come alive and you fight it. Kill it, and it will drop a key piece. One of 2. Good news is that if you're carrying a key piece, that increases your likelihood of getting an angel room by another 25%, so you have basically a 3 in 4 shot of getting an angel room the next time that a devil room would otherwise spawn. So that's good. Once you have that first key piece, it's a lot easier to get the second. But I'll tell you what, it's surprisingly difficult going through the game without taking any devil deals. Excuse me. Specifically because there's a large number of damage ups that are pretty concentrated in the Devil Deal item pool. So I usually find that my damage is actually kind of low by the time that I'm like gearing up to fight Mega Satan. Now, of course, if you can get something like Duality and Goat's Head, obviously that's an easy fucking way to get your key pieces and still have access to the Devil Deals. Speaking of Devil Deals, I think we're gonna get one this floor unless we take like damage. Possibly of any kind. I have no idea what my health is at. I've not been paying close enough attention. I just know that we haven't taken any red heart health damage so far on this floor, which we love to see. And I don't think the dark one here is gonna... oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, well, we had at least one hit that we could take. It's good to know. Lovely, the placenta, regeneration, and HP up. Ooh! Don't mind if I do. This means that we don't need the frickin', we no longer need the frickin' Bible. Because we can fly all the time. I do hope that y'all in chat don't feel too overwhelmed as I'm just, like, rambling on about, all this Isaac stuff. I know that I can throw out a lot of information at once, suffice it to say. You know what? I should have picked up Pupilla Duplex and then rerolled, but whatever. Ooh. Oh, man. We don't really have any good options of getting more money, and I don't like the looks of going into the... I should have picked up Pupilla Duplex. I could have duplicated items after re-rolling them. Whatever. I'm getting a solid "it's fine, man" from Born Loser, which is about all the endorsement that I need. Tell you what, folks, I am super looking forward to Stellaris on Thursday. We're gonna have some fun space adventures. Probably, realistically, with the United Nations of Earth. I'm probably gonna be a basic bitch and just play as the UNE, and that's fine. There's nothing to feel that embarrassed by. I do like the fact that now that, like, our laser is actually kind of being effective now that our firing speed has increased. Love to get that higher, though. Just saying, but I'm also really liking the fact that I can fly. It's good feels. Ooh. Don't mind if I do. Oh, I'll take Sackhead. Don't mind if I do. That was an easy room. Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm just running into shit now. I think I'm getting a little bit actually tired at the end of this, towards the end of this run. You know, no one's fault but my own. I did not get a ton of sleep last night. I stayed up too late. I should have gone to bed when my wife did, but I didn't, and now I am paying the price. We have not seen our treasure room yet. The good news is I only have to hang out for like 4 minutes longer. Let's see what our treasure room will yield for us. And then I guess we'll ooh, Tammy's head. Now let's see how Tammy's head works with okay. So Tammy's head is very unimpressive. With the old laser beams. Yeah, it's underwhelming. It doesn't last very long. Let's get through this arena room here, and then we'll call it quits. Yeah. Or I could just die like a fucking chump to stupid shit. Maybe we could come back to this. I don't know. But anyway, folks, I really do appreciate you all tuning in, watching me play a little bit of Isaac. Super fun. We beat Isaac with Blue Baby, which is great. Was not expecting that, but we just kind of had a runaway successful run there. Played some greed mode. I gave y'all a very good carbonara recipe. Just pro tip, salt the water and get it boiling before you put in the pasta. Plain and simple. Cook it 9 to 11 minutes till it's al dente. It'll be perfect. Anyway, I'm gonna hop off the YouTube machine now. Let y'all get on with the rest of your evening. I'm gonna get on with the rest of my evening. But yeah. Thank you all very much for watching. Until next time, I am Ned Finn, and goodbye.